What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of the Gravel Underdogs podcast. Today's going to be a super fun episode. We're going to go through the Hills gravel race recap and then dive straight into a whole bunch of nerd talk. We're going to be talking about Chase's wind tunnel data from the other weekend with Silca. We're going to talk about some arrow hacks and just marginal gains that you guys can do. And we're going to go through all of our listener questions based all around marginal gains and arrow data and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned if you guys want to hear how Chase saved 130 watts in the wind tunnel. That's what you guys have to look forward to today. So yeah, let's dive in. Chase, how are you?
I'm doing good. I think we should do another rebuttal from last week's episode. At the beginning, we said we were gonna talk about rattlesnake gravel, which we never did.
Yeah,
So
we never even talked about it.
I just want to list off the results super quick. Okay, it was a super hot race in Sweetwater, Texas. There's $2,500 to go win. Super good event. Top three men: Drake Beckham Drake, Tanner Cook, Justin McQuarrie. Women: Crystal Anthony beat Lauren Stevens, Terry Moore for third. So that's our quick rattlesnake gravel. I do think I am going to this event next year because it looks really, really fun.
And there's a decent payout.
And there's payout, yeah.
Yeah. What about the Hills? Tell us about the Hills. I feel like you know more about this race than I do. Where did you get your Hills information from?
If you follow any like European gravel racers who are doing the Gravel Earth series, they were all posting pictures of the vineyard at the Hills gravel race, which takes place in Italy, and it's put on by another gravel racer. I forget his name, but he has a beard and he is really, really fast. That's all I know. Or used to be really, really fast. He was in the Lifetime Grand Prix last year. So, and then I also saw that Nino Schurter was
in gravel racing.
Unretired.
Yeah, he retired straight to gravel, as they do. That's the method right there.
Okay, if you saw Nino was getting into gravel, how, like, I always think the World Tour riders should be good at it, but for some reason, oftentimes they struggle. Roman Bardet's not struggling, but yeah, how do you think, if you knew Nino was riding and it's a pretty stacked European gravel race, and he said he was just like having fun or like testing out, how do you think he would do?
I would already say he got 5th place in this race. Mm-hmm. I would already say that result is way better than I would have ever guessed. Now, obviously, Nino is just an absolute freak of nature on a bike. But he's always just focused on like XCO, shorter 1 to 2 hour races. What?
I have a counter argument to that.
Okay.
He has done really well at Cape Epic before.
Yeah, that is true. That's a big event.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of days in a row of big events. So yeah, I would have assumed that he wouldn't have done as well as he has already done in gravel, just based on the type of fitness that you would think he would have. He has that super explosive 1 to 2 hour power, but it seems like he can hold his own in a long gravel race just fine. Not that surprising, I guess, but yeah. If he decides to come over to gravel, I would be nervous. I think he'll be really good.
I think the European style of gravel racing fits him really well.
True.
like the
Yeah.
3 to 4 hour technical courses that are like more punchy. I don't know.
And it seems
From an
like they always like you have to have a good start to do well. They're
Mhm.
always like super narrow and more like bunch racing type stuff. So you got to get out front early, which he knows how to do that.
Yeah, I feel like European gravel racers could come over to America, do pretty well easily, but I think a lot of Americans struggle with that like
Yeah,
tight position battle
it's a
racing.
totally different thing over there. Yeah. Let's
I
talk about the
say
result.
I say the Americans would struggle, but riding not in the Stars and Stripes jersey, even though he won
Still,
it last year. First place, Braden Lang. He is comes from a mountain bike background, and I do think it's a technical course, but it was super cool to see him win.
yeah, I was
Definitely
pretty stoked to see that he won.
it boosts his chances of getting into the top 5 of our predictions for the
Yeah,
Lifetime Grand Prix, I
I think
think.
so. Yeah, this was a big result because fellow competitor Payson was also there. And I feel like a lot of people would assume Payson and um, Braden are on equal level, and Braden won, and Payson finished 16th. I wonder what happened, or if that's just how the race played out.
I don't know. Payson was not on the Pirelli Scorpio.
The mountain bike tire,
Yeah, but they're two
supposedly
fours.
super fast.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean 16th in that field is still really good by Payson. I think he
Sure.
was in
Yeah.
a sprint for 13th if I
Okay.
saw, or like close to top 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then second place was Petr Vakac, who I feel like has actually taken second place in a lot of races. He in the
He's
Sahara
always like in second place. He's
yeah.
already been second place like 4 times this year.
And then I don't even know this name. Celestian Gillian was third, Nino fifth, Payson 16th is who I had for notable results. In the women, we had Larissa Hartug.
Something
She
like
all
that.
Yeah, she also races for the same team Braden Lang is on, that Canyon all-terrain team.
Yeah.
So good start to the Canyon team, even though Specialized Racing was not there. Madsword Schmidt won a different race, the 114 UCI gravel race, but I didn't pull results from that. And then Erica Magnaldi got second.
Sure.
I think she races for UAE and is the current the European gravel champion. And then Elena Hartman was third. So that kind of covers the race recaps from this weekend. You know, there wasn't
Yeah, there
anything.
wasn't a lot going on, and next weekend there's nothing really. I guess it's here in America. It's Easter weekend.
I think
So
it's
we don't.
Easter everywhere.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Depending on if they celebrate, I don't know. I don't know how that works. Over here, the Easter Bunny's coming, so we ain't racing. We're just
It's
eating candy.
it's Tour of Flanders. How about we do a quick
True.
race prediction for Tour of Flanders? Tadej Pogacar over or under 30 seconds, or
For
wins
the win.
by yeah.
Do you think somebody can beat him?
No, because Matthew Van Der Poel couldn't
Yeah.
win. Well, he almost got caught at E3, and then at I forgot what they call the one that happened on Sunday. but him and Wout were off the front, and they got brought back with like 2K to go.
I'm gonna guess Tade doesn't win.
Whoa.
That's
Okay.
my prediction.
I'm gonna go Tade wins. He's winning
By
all
over
5
30.
monuments this
I
year.
know. That would be insane, and I really think he could do it. But I'm
Okay.
rooting for an underdog to come in.
Who's your underdog?
I have no idea.
Vermeer.
It won't be if somebody beats him. It will not be an underdog.
No, it's gonna be his own teammate.
You think?
Yeah.
Which one? The
I think it's Johnny Vermeer, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Possibly. Okay. Let's get into the fun.
Florian Vermeer. Sorry. Florian Vermeer.
Did you say Jonathan? Yeah,
Yeah.
Florian.
Florian.
Yeah. Let's get into the fun deep dive on aerodynamics now. And we're going to start it off with Chase deep diving into how you possibly saved 130 watts in the wind tunnel.
Okay.
Should we preface the test standards that you used in the wind tunnel?
Yeah, I'll give a little bit of background about the whole testing. And I think we covered this like kind of quickly last weekend or last episode. But Silca invited me, Cam Jones, and Paige Onweller out to the wind tunnel. I was lucky enough to be able to do testing both days as there was a 4th person scheduled, but they backed out, and I had a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to test, so Silca let me fill in for their spot. The testing protocol was done at 50 kilometers per hour or 30 miles per hour, roughly. This test was done in Indianapolis, which is where Silca is based out of, and like a lot of Indy cars get tested in this facility, or Indy car models, I should say. And then, so the runs were done like back to back to back, and they were done at 0 degrees yaw, 5 degrees yaw, and 10 degrees yaw. They also just got they can see your baseline outline, so they would always try to, like, if your head was up or down, they would essentially try to, like, they would come into the wind tunnel and be like, head up, and then they would start the runner. Like, they'd make sure you're in that baseline, but it was only a side shot, so they couldn't see.
Could you see this too, or just them?
Just them.
Okay, so they were like on the computers behind that glass thing telling you how to move. Cool. That's cool.
And I guess if anyone's, and most people haven't been to a wind tunnel, I'm in a separate room, and the wind tunnel, like, I had to walk up probably 6 or 7 flights of stairs, or like steps, I should say.
Yeah,
steps. And then, so I'm like sitting, they can see me out of a window, but I'm like 10 feet above them in the like testing area. So I would say it's a pretty like well run wind tunnel. This is where Dylan Johnson has gone. I think we talked to Kobe.
It's also one of the most accurate wind tunnels. I don't know if you got this deep into wind tunnel engineering, but the wind tunnel is, you have to kind of think about it like a racetrack, and the wind travels all the way around the racetrack, which makes the airflow going by you like smoother than the wind tunnels where it's like a big fan in front of you and behind you, because that makes the air super turbulent. And in this one, since the fan is like a quarter mile away from you on the other side of the racetrack, it makes the wind going by you like super smooth and accurate, I guess.
Wow.
Which is cool. Yeah. Josh showed me all the ins and outs of the wind tunnel, and it was super dope.
I didn't get this talk. I
Dang.
wondered why, like, because you see a lot of pictures of people in wind tunnels, and the fans are
Yeah.
like right behind them and right in front of them.
Yeah,
And in
and
this
this
wind
one doesn't
tunnel,
have any of it. It's just an
yeah,
open hole in front and behind you because there's a giant circle that goes around the whole building that the air travels through. It's crazy. Yeah. There's also a room in that building that they use to test race car transmissions. So it just has like a hydraulic motor thing that puts like thousands of horsepower into transmission, and then they like shift it and stuff, and they basically just blow up transmissions all day.
holy
Seems super
smokes.
cool. I know. They weren't using it when we were there, but Josh said if they do, you like can't hear anything because it's like such a loud operation. Yeah.
I did
And
not.
we're just over here riding bikes and they're testing like cool race car stuff.
It is weird
All
to think
right.
about, like, yeah, okay. Okay, to the wind tunnel testing. I'm gonna list so I did a total of 33 runs, I believe. No,
Is that
30 runs.
33 different things tested or
Yeah,
three
tested
different yaw angles of 10 different things?
no, I
Or
have
however many.
99 lines of
Wow.
data.
Yeah.
So that would be
So you test
33 tests, but 3 of those tests were done for baseline testing. Actually, 4 of them, because I got my baseline tested twice in one day because stuff started getting a little, yeah. So, okay, the top, okay. Actually, some of these, I'm really happy they tested really fast. Like, the top 2 things, the top 2 accessories, I'm super happy that these tested fast because nobody is actually going to use them.
except for
So,
you.
except for me. So, in the number 1 spot, we have calf sleeves and overshoes. So, this was a no pins calf sleeve with, I had essentially, well, they were Leone overshoes. I don't have velo toes for some reason, so I couldn't just test like calf sleeves with velo toes. So that saved me 26.5 watts. So that is, if you're at home and you're like doing my math, that's the first accessory. The second fastest thing was just
Wait,
calves.
can we do one thing before going on just to help people understand? So that's at 30 miles an hour and you save 27 watts. Let's go down to what we would call like gravel race speed, so like between 20 and 24 miles an hour. How many watts do you think that would be? I don't know the exact calculation or whatever it is to get there, but would you assume that would still be like 18 to 23 watts saved somewhere in there at a slower speed?
I'm just be so I have 130 watts of savings
Yeah.
at 50 kilometers per hour or 30 miles per hour. I'm gonna guess it's probably 40 to 60 actual watts at 22 miles per hour. If I'm riding side by side with someone at like 300 watts, I'll say that
Yeah.
on a gravel road going
Yeah.
22 or 23 miles per hour.
Okay. I just
I'll
wanted to kind of put that in perspective before we go talking about these numbers and people don't actually know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I'm taking 30 to 50% of the
The
savings.
number. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing in my head, roughly. And maybe some of these, it's like it actually saves pretty much the exact same amount of watts. But like something like with like a calf sleeve or for example, I have socks, like the width that the ribs are spread apart is going to make a difference at different speeds. So, okay. So, yeah, probably 10 to 15 actual watt savings
Oh,
with
you think it's that
overshoes.
low?
Actually, I forgot to say what my baseline was. So my
Yeah.
baseline was I had Lake shoes that are like with shoe strings. I had Silca Aero socks. I had a Bora skin suit, which has this like really shiny material over like the my stomach and base, and then it has ribbed sleeves with ribs that are really close together. And then I wore FKT sunglasses and an Abus Game Changer helmet, which is their like Aero helmet, not their TT helmet, but their standard Aero helmet. That like Matthew
Aero road
Vander.
helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Game Changer 2 Matthew Vanderpool. Where's the Game Changer 1? I guess I could have tried to get a Game Changer 1 to test. But so calf sleeves with the overshoes, 26.5 watts at 50 kilometers per hour.
What about
Oh wait. Oh, that's a good the baseline was Envy wheels. Actually, the first and second day I had different tires on. So it was Envy wheels. First day I had Dub Natal tires on. I had the Lauf fork. I had 33 centimeter handlebars, profile design Conta race with the drops chopped off. 2 1-liter bottles in the bottle cages, just because like I know that's faster. So, or I guess I'm just assuming stuff, but I assume it's faster than nothing. And then that's it. Day 2, I ran 45 millimeter tires. So I don't think that affected. Well, that would affect some of the sock stuff because the fork and the tires are interacting different. Just for all intents and purposes, 26.5 watts were saved. Second fastest thing we tested was just the calf sleeves, no overshoes. This was only 1.6 watts slower at 24.9 watts saved.
So we're assuming the overshoes didn't really save that much, only like 1 to 2 watts.
Yeah, 1 to
It
2
was like
watts.
all of those savings in that first thing were all down to the calf sleeves pretty much.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is nice to know because like overshoes get hot. So
Yeah, they get hot.
Yeah.
So now you just have to wear calf sleeves and don't have to worry about the overshoes. At least on hot days, I guess.
Yeah. So that 24.9 doesn't go to the 130 watts because we can just assume, let's say I wear calf sleeves and overshoes. And it was a small difference. So even if I just wore calf sleeves, still a big savings. The second accessory and the third fastest testing or watt savings was the Abus TT helmet. This is their Game Changer TT. Saved me 22.9 watts. Oh, and I ran my FKT glasses with these. That tested faster than with the visor.
Which is surprising.
What's really surprising here is without the visor, it saved me 12.3 watts. With the visor, it saved me 21.3 watts. But the no visor but with glasses was 22.9 watts. So this is one of those where I look and I'm like,
the visor made it like 10 watts slower than with sunglasses.
no, the visor made it almost 10 watts faster than without a visor. But if I take the visor off and put sunglasses in, and these are like huge sunglasses, then it's even faster than with the visor, which that's
so
one of those
crazy.
one where I'm just like,
Like, how does that work?
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah.
And we'll get into like, I have a chart where they have like a margin of gain in each thing. I had
Margin
a
of
question.
error?
Yeah, margin of error. That we can touch up on. So that's number TT with glasses.
Are you surprised by that result? The TT helmet was 20 watts faster.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be faster, but not 20 plus watts faster.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Like when I saw Dylan doing his wind tunnel testing, and he like I think he posted an Instagram reel when he did this. Almost everyone I've seen in the wind tunnel, they're looking like straight down into the ground, and I'm like, that's not how you are in the real world. Like you're kind of looking, I tried to look forward about like as far back into the box thing and like slightly down. Like I would be looking 50 yards down a gravel road looking for like big rocks on the ground. So like if you see photos of me in the wind tunnel, my head's pretty straightforward. So the savings I think kind of makes sense because it does have that tail and it covers my ears. So I don't know. Will I wear it when it's super hot? No. But I want to do some testing in like 70-degree weather.
Yeah.
And I may run it there.
To see if it's too hot there.
Yeah. Okay, fourth fastest thing was the TT helmet with the visor, 21.3 watts. The fifth fastest thing, and this would be, ideally, I like a really cold race for this aero setup because the fifth fastest test was a long sleeve skin suit that saved me 19.4 watts
over the short sleeve one.
And
yeah, that's crazy.
So the difference between the long sleeve and the short sleeve is the ribbing on the long sleeve has wider ribs, and then it just has that like shiny material over
on the forearms.
Yeah, on the forearms. So my skin must be really slow if a
skin. Were your arms shaved?
Yeah.
Okay.
I should say they had like little stubbles because I shaved them for Mid-South, and this was a week after Mid-South.
Yeah, gotcha. But not much arm hair.
Yeah, not much arm hair. Okay. The sixth fastest thing. So, okay. Add 19.4 watts if you're doing the calculation. The sixth fastest thing, and we wouldn't add this, is Bora is adding a new material to their skin suit. So it's a smooth skin suit, and then I had like the ribbed like Castelli base layer underneath. So that saved me 18.2 watts. With this smooth skin suit, like I've gone to Bora now and I'm like, this new material must be faster than like your old shiny material. So what I told them is like, let's run this new smooth material as like the chest and like back, and then let's run the ribs on the like biceps, because I think that'd be the fastest.
That makes sense.
I've had this prototype skin suit for a year now, and it actually breathes better too than the old material. So it's nice because it breathes better, so it's gonna be better in the heat. It tests faster, and it honestly just kind of feels better. So that's good. And then number 7 was, this was a big surprise, was the Velotoes Aero Gloves. So Velotoes just recently released some new aero gloves with like ribbed material. I think Pedal Mafia also makes something pretty similar. And I got these last minute from Simon Nordal Svensson because he's sponsored by Velotoes, and he's like, need a pair. These saved me 16.1 watts.
Just in gloves. Short
just in
finger
gloves.
gloves.
Yeah.
How far up like your wrist do they go?
Probably like 2 to 3 inches.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they are pretty long.
Mhm.
So that definitely helps.
But they weren't even like, I think I would want to order one size smaller because
Yeah.
they weren't, I have really small hands, and yeah, I think they were a size too big. That's one where I'm like, that's a really interesting test. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm always going to wear gloves in a gravel race. Well, actually, I used to not wear them because I was like, it doesn't save anything and it just makes my hands probably heat up. But
yeah,
now
I
knowing
don't
this,
wear gloves normally because my hands get hot. But then when it is hot, then your hands sweat, and then like when you're climbing out of the saddle, it's like real slippery. So I'm like, do I want gloves? Do I not want gloves? Maybe I'll get some aero gloves. I was just looking while we were on the pod, and ASOS does have some nice ribbed gloves that I'm probably gonna get some of those.
okay, number 8. This is another one people probably won't run. This is one. Okay, I'll say what it was first. So in number 8 is 30 centimeter profile design Kanta race handlebars with the drops attached. This was 15.9 watts saved over the 33 centimeter ones. And our guess was I chicken wing at 33 and my elbows pop out a little bit outside of like my torso region. When I have the 30s, I still chicken wing, but I'm like chicken winging, but it's in front of my torso. So that's like my rough guess of why it saved so many watts. I do want to say there was recently a comment made on another podcast that I don't care about the safety of like, or don't care about how my bike handling is, and I do care about my bike handling. So I probably won't run these besides at like gravel worlds where you're only making 90-degree turns. I've gotten pretty good at handling the 33 centimeter bars, but these I've only ridden outside twice with them, and it is a little challenging to like handle. So
I'd be interested to try like 30s because I've like in the past year let's go back 2 years. I used to be on like 42s when I did crits, and just in the past year I've gotten all the way down to 32s. Most of the time I ride 35s, but I have a set of 32s for races like Unbound and stuff where more time is going to be spent on straight flat roads. And after a ride or two, it feels completely normal. Like you just get used to it. You learn how your bike handles with narrower bars, and it doesn't feel like anything different. Like it just feels like you're riding a bike again. But
yes, dude, I
30s
wish.
might be. I'm sure there's got to be a limit there, because like if you were to hold your stem, you're not going to have any steering ability whatsoever. So there's got to be like a limit, and I don't know where that is. Like how narrow is too narrow? But 32s is pretty narrow, and I've ridden that, and after like literally like two rides, it just feels completely normal, and you can handle your bike the same as whatever your previous bar was.
I don't think many people actually know that. I think they just assume the handling like just gets worse and worse and worse, but you adapt to how the bike handles.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like it's been really cold out here, and that's why I haven't ridden at all. And the first ride outside was with you with these. And I was also running new tires and I was on roads I didn't know. And I was also just like pretty tired. So it wasn't like a good test run. And then yesterday was a good day to test it. But we picked a route with, dude, maybe like 10 turns in it. Like there was not much bike handling. So I definitely want to go, maybe even like I'm going up to my parents this weekend and just go test out in some like farm fields with 90-degree corners. And yeah, so like I do want to say I care about how my bike handles. If I can't learn how to handle my bike with the 30-centimeter bars, even though it saves me 16 watts, I won't run it. Like I'll just go back to my 33s.
I honestly think the only downside I found to running narrower bars, and when I say narrower bars, I'm talking about bars that are narrower than like 35s, because I don't have this issue whatsoever with 35s. It's when you're standing out of the saddle on a steep climb and you need to like put that torque into the handlebars, you know what I'm talking about? With the narrower bars, that's the part that gets a little difficult. Like the descending handling, nothing, I feel like nothing changes. It's just out of the saddle, like hard efforts is when I feel like the narrow bars are a hindrance. Which the only race that would apply to us at all is Sea Otter.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
would say with the 33s, I don't have that issue. Even like sprinting,
yeah,
where I was standing up a couple times yesterday, and I'm like, this feels a little goofy because you're just
it's a
like
little goofy.
so narrow. Yeah.
But I
That,
actually
that
don't know if it's like a problem or if it just feels weird. Like, am I still putting down the same power?
I
I don't
think
I don't
because
know for
like
sure.
a good sprinter will use the leverage
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
put out more power, and with the 30-centimeter bars, you lose that leverage. So, because that was like Julian and I were riding at Belgian Waffle Ride Arizona pre-riding, and he had sprints, and I was watching him like, dude, you're not throwing your bike around, and like I told him that, and then I was like, let's race each other. You start throwing your start practicing your form on these sprints, and then and I beat him 3 or 4 times in a row, and then like the fifth time he beat me pretty handedly. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm getting like better at throwing the bike around, and I think when you're like going uphill, throwing the bike around is
part
important.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No offense to Julian, but he kind of looked like he can't sprint. Okay, one
Dude,
more
wait, wait,
aside.
wait, wait. I gotta defend my teammate. He beat Alexi in a sprint, and Alexi beat Adam Roberge in a sprint. So
Yeah,
technically, Julian is the best.
technically he's a beast. Yeah. No, I was just messing. One more aside before we get off the bar topic. Can we just throw in, you tested wider bars too, right?
Yes.
Can we throw in how much slower a wide bar was versus either baseline or the 30s?
Yeah, the wide bars
How wide did
were
you go?
I tested 39s.
Okay, so not that wide.
Yeah. And they were 4 watts slower.
Then 33s?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Whoa, that's not as much as I thought.
wait. I'm trying to sorry. I didn't want this to happen, but on one spreadsheet, the spreadsheet they originally sent me, it was 18 watts slower. So I may have
May have
done
messed up
some
your
math wrong.
18 sounds more realistic, but maybe like your elbows on the 39s are in the same place as your elbows on the 33s or something. I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
What's next on the list?
Next on the list. So that was number 8. Number 9, overshoes only. So these were the Sock Leone overshoes. Those saved me 15.4 watts. Rounding out the top 10 was this Star Wars helmet.
Oh my gosh. That's
So, dang, I wish I should have had this like dialed up. Yeah, Silca. It was like 150. It was a really expensive Star Wars helmet. And Richard, like, so I posted pictures of me in a pizza costume, in a hockey jersey, in this Star Wars costume, and on a Strider bike. And
yeah.
people probably think we tested all of those, and each run is about 3 to 4 minutes. We only tested the Star Wars helmet, and we tested
The
that
other
on
the other ones you just put on real quick and got on the bike
the
to
other
take a
ones.
picture.
We took a picture right at the very end with all
Yeah.
of those,
Yeah.
and like for social media. So that was another thing that was mentioned on the podcast, was like, oh, Chase went in and tested all these dorky things. No, I didn't. I just took pictures. Like I wanted to be funny. So
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but when we were in the wind tunnel with Dylan, we actually tested this, the aerodynamics of Crocs, and then the
yeah,
aerodynamics of Crocs with aerodynamic giblets in the little holes. Like they made little giblets with the same shape as the Silca like arrow sock things. You know what I'm talking about? The little triangles. It was
yeah.
kind of funny.
No,
Uh,
I saw those. I
yeah,
think I forget
yeah.
who
I think they've posted them.
has them, but yeah. Okay. Number. Sorry, I've been trying to find
Number
the
11, I think.
number 11. Okay. 11. Sorry, I accidentally, one of the baselines I marked down, so all my numbers are off. Oh, number 11 is the 30 centimeters without drops. This was 13.5 watts savings over my 33 centimeter bars without drops. So there's about a 2.5 watt savings if you keep the drops on your bike. This was a
There you
surprise
go.
to me. I think,
Yeah,
yeah, the whole world's happy. I'm putting drops back on my bike somehow.
I'm
Probably
happy.
just gonna tape them on. Maybe I should cut that part out.
Just get
Probably not,
some
but
carbon fiber fix it stuff from Amazon.
like I'm not gonna, like, people are like, "Oh, why you like you chopped them off just so you can save some watts?" It's like I didn't use my drops before. Like they were just I thought it would be faster without them,
And
so
you
I
just
chopped them
assumed
off.
it was going to be faster, and it ended up not being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh Number 12, defeat arrow socks. These are like,
Dang, you cheated on Silca?
I know.
That's crazy.
So this was 13.3 watts of savings. And this is what I think is standard. These are like really expensive arrow socks, but they've
The defeat
also,
ones?
yeah, they're super
Okay.
comfy and have lasted me a
Yeah.
lot. So this is what I usually recommend to someone. Well, usually I say if you don't want to look dorky, get the Silca arrow socks. If you don't care, go get the defeat arrow socks.
Are the defeat ones like I don't know what you call it,
The rib,
racy fabric, ribbed racy fabric, like skin suit material instead of just sock material.
yeah. So the cool thing with the Defeat socks is they have the rib material, but
Yeah.
I was talking with them, and I think they just wanted to test it to be funny in the wind tunnel, and they flipped the rib material inside out. Maybe it wasn't to be funny, but so the ribs are actually against your skin, so it kind of gives you like it still gives you ribs on the outside, but it's like smoothed out. And if you look at a lot of like time trial skin suits, they have this. It's like I don't know how they make it. They don't flip the ribs inside out, but you can tell there's ribbing, but there's another layer of fabric over the ribs to smooth that out. So Defeat tested these. Like I'd say these are the best socks if you're doing a time trial. There may be, I don't know for sure, but I think if you tested a pair of Aero socks with the ribbing on the outside at gravel speed, those may test faster than these Defeat Aero socks. Just because that smooth ribbing usually, this is just me comparing like a road race skin suit to a time trial skin suit at the world tour level. The ribs are visible in a road race skin suit, not visible when it comes to a time trial skin suit. Okay. Sorry for the major dorkery there. I wonder. Okay, someone leave a comment if they pay that much attention to like the ribbing of a skin suit between the road races and the TT. And if you look, like, I dork out and like you see UAE has like really wide ribs on their skin suit, and then like brands like I think like Specialized, like the Red Bull skin suit, their ribs are really close together. But okay,
I think there's a lot of kit companies that put ribs on their stuff because other companies have tested it and it's fast, so they just throw them on there. And then there's kit companies that actually test different materials in wind tunnels and find out what's fastest at whatever speed they're testing for. So
that this
you
is
guys
why.
can guess which company we're talking about is which. And props to Bora for like testing stuff. Super cool. I didn't know that they were like putting in the engineering and testing different materials. So that's cool.
Wait, the Bora that I ride for? No, they just like ordered two different sets of ribbed stuff at one point, and I was like,
Yeah, but
I
you're
want,
testing it for them and telling them what you want, and then they're making it.
yeah,
Like that's
no,
cool.
it's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool, and they're from Wisconsin. Like I say, they're from Wisconsin, and the stuff is sewn together 25 minutes down the road from me. All the
Yeah,
fabrics are bought from the same place. Like, no, I don't know how to word this, and I think this is public knowledge. Every kit company, I shouldn't say every, most kit companies, there's like 3 or 4 fabric makers, and every kit company just goes to these fabric makers and orders the fabric. So you can order, and usually they're from Italy or like Asian countries. But yeah, so like most kit companies can have access to the exact same fabrics as the UAE like kit. So, which is really cool. And yeah, I've had lots of meetings with Bora, and it's really cool to be working with them. And yeah, that they're just trying to make their kit faster and better. So, and that it's made right here in Wisconsin.
yeah.
So, okay, that was 13. Oh, TT helmet without visor, was number 13, 12.3 watts. 13. 14 was so I wanted to know if I put the TT helmet on with the glasses and a 2-liter down my back to like make the airflow like really good.
Yeah.
That saved me like 8 watts. Or this is one where the baseline like got remeasured. So I'm taking the second baseline measurement. If I compare this against the first baseline measurement, it's 23 watts of savings.
But you think it's 8?
Yeah, because actually I wasn't testing fast with anything in my skin suit.
Okay.
It's just like, I think if you put a person with a dad bod and then you add another dad bod on top of that,
Double
it
dad bod
becomes
is not faster.
double dad bod is not faster.
But if you take a skinny little skeleton guy and add some dad bod to him, he goes faster.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
Okay, number 16 was this was the profile design top tube. Ooh, I should know what it's called.
The little gel flask.
Yeah, the little gel flask. This tested 7.3 watts faster. And I think this is a good accessory to have. Because if you use gels, you can put all of your gels, or like I think it can fit 4. It's a 250 milliliter flask. So you can fit 3 or 4 gels in this. You don't have you'll be saving energy because you don't have to like rip off the gel. If you're like me and really picky, I make sure to not litter that little top like piece of the flask that the tab, and like carbs fuel that tab just like some gels are nice, like I think Never Second has like a second attachment for it, but so just load that thing up with some gels and easy to take shots during the race.
I think these top tube bags you can see behind me on my bike, I think those probably do the same thing if it's like a sleek design top tube bag, not like a big floppy one.
I should say Profile Design makes some really good top tube.
Yeah, they do.
I don't want to say bags, but they're like hard plastic that you can like stuff more stuff.
I'm pretty sure Profile Design used to make the top tube bags that came with like Cervelo triathlon bikes. And the like Cervelo spec those top tube bags because they were more aero on their triathlon bikes. So would probably be faster on a gravel bike too.
Yeah, if you want to save 15% at Profile Design, use the code PDCHASE15, all capital letters. I have an affiliate code. I haven't plugged one ever on this episode, so I think that's it. Yeah, you can go to my latest YouTube video and check it out. Okay, what is this? Number 16. So this is the like minor detail testing that Bora wanted me to do, that I wanted to do for Bora. This was the short sleeve skin suit, but with wider ribs, and that saved 8.5 watts. So that was like good knowledge to have to be able to go back to Bora. And we'll be making that change in the skin suit. Next one. So then these next 3 are actually all just, I got off the bike and we just tested these on, because if you just test the bike, the margin of error becomes less. Number 17 was a disc wheel that I had and that saved 6.5 watts. So You may see me running an NV disc wheel potentially. NV wheel, I should say NV wheels with disc cover over it. It would be, yeah. I don't know though. 6.5 watts and you add an extra pound on your bike.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like, sure, the bigger tires are faster if you're just going in a straight line and not taking into consideration accelerations. But that extra pound accelerating on an uphill, like, I don't think it's worth that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 18 was, maybe some people remember this. 2 years ago, I made a homemade frame bag that went like the whole triangle of my bike and to the rear tires. Like
I remember that.
that saves 5.3 watts. And we
That's
put
the old oh shoot, what's his name? The guy that rode for Allied and won Unbound.
the name that shall not be spoken.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, there's
That
a
was like his
documentary.
that was like his thing was those homemade frame bag things. They look
Yeah,
sick. So that saved how many watts?
5.3. And
Okay.
dude, we put this on super, or I shouldn't say we. I put this on super sloppily because we
Yeah.
were like running out of time. So
Yeah.
I bet if it was put on nicely, it would save even more watts. And this thing was
Yeah.
really light. So if you're looking for something, I don't know, that isn't too bad. And then the next one was another wheel saved 5 watts. Okay. Things that surprised me or were bad. So when I took the hoods on my 33 centimeter bars and made them straight instead of tilted in, that was 2.3 watts slower.
Okay.
The short sleeve skin suit, that was smooth, and this was smooth also on my arms, not just on my base. Like this was the prototype skin suit. That was 3.4 watts faster than the skin suit with the like shiny material on my chest and then the rib sleeves. So I think that shiny material isn't super good. And then a 2 liter in the front saved me 1.6 watts. And then that was in the front. A 2 liter in the back was actually slower. Thank goodness, because I
Yeah.
used to do that and it sucked. 2 liter in the back and a flask in the front saved me 1 watt. So, and then that's. Oh, I did save 4.2 watts with a flask down the front. Just a 750 milliliter flask. That
That's kind
is
of interesting.
that's the deep dive onto wind tunnel. Yeah.
Your results may vary, but
Yeah,
that's everything Chase tested. He just gave you all of his data.
I will say some people that tested in the wind tunnel some of the same things I tested tested the opposite of what they
Yeah.
tested on me.
Things that
I
were
think,
slow for you were fast for them,
and
or
vice versa.
Yeah.
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 But some things that we all tested like ended up being faster for all of us. So, that was a deep dive into
Yeah.
that.
Let's do you want to talk about like our favorite or top marginal gains / arrow hacks that
Yeah,
the average bike racer can take advantage of?
yeah, yeah. Let's phrase the question. Oh, Holy Spirit of Gravel phrased it really well. What what evidence from the test, if any, would be most helpful for normies? So what would be essentially what would be helpful for an average person? So, well, let's talk about the test, but also I think there's things that among the pros is kind of standardized that we all do, but maybe not for the average like normie.
Let's first talk about things that are not only faster, but you either need or are convenient to have. So I'm going to start off with the first one being fast kit. Whether it's bib shorts and a jersey or a skin suit or whatever it is, there's slow kits and there's fast kits. Chase did a very, very deep dive on super technical bits about skin suits, but if you go to any kit manufacturer and go to, if they have different categories of kits, some of them have like racing kits, and then find the ones that are the fastest racing kit and just buy that jersey or buy those bibs, because you already need a pair of bibs and you already need a jersey if you're going to do a bike race. Well, I guess you don't need them, but it's nice to have. So just go with the faster stuff. And I would say the same thing for helmets. Like, you need a helmet to do a bike race, so choose a fast arrow one. Even though that, I think helmets could be faster or slower on any different person. Usually a arrow road helmet will be faster on everyone than a more ventilated road helmet.
Yeah, my advice for the helmet is just honestly, if you're a normal person, look at what the world tour riders are riding for their helmets because they all have really well vented arrow helmets. So just pick any of those. I feel like, yeah, before there used to be a sacrifice of arrow or ventilation, and I think almost every company now has it. So it's the
Like an
helmet.
in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you said helmet and a good kit. Okay, I'm gonna say good tires, and I would just, man, I don't want to say don't ask your local. Like, I think if you go into your local bike shop, the odds of the bike mechanic knowing what's a good fast gravel tire may not be the
Might
best.
not be the
Like,
best idea. A lot of times, if you go into a bike shop and you ask that question, the bike shop will not answer you directly. They will first look at their tire wall and then answer you, because they'll pick something that they conveniently have on their tire wall. So maybe a better option is you can go to the bicyclerollingresistance.com and choose a tire on there, or you can ask someone knowledgeable. Shoot me a DM and I'll answer you. And tell me what race you're doing, and I'll give you what tire I think you should run.
I think a safe bet if you're doing a gnarly race, run a Continental Dubnatal if your bike can fit it, 2.2 inches. If the gravel is smooth, run a Continental Terra Speed 45 millimeter tire.
There you
Or
go.
Terra Competition.
Can I show you something, Chase, real quick?
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta grab it.
Okay. My other.
Wait, I'm back. Look, I got fan mail
You
from
got
some guy
fan?
on Instagram that didn't want to be named for whatever reason. But he sent me a whole bunch of Race Kings, brand new.
It's
Is this
Dylan
not?
Johnson.
This is the best present you could ever get. Is just Race Kings that you can't get any longer, and somebody just had such a big stash they just sent me some. Like, I'm so excited. Now I have Race Kings for the rest of the year.
Did they tell
Okay,
you
that's
why they
all.
sent you those?
Because they're a fan and they know I love Race Kings.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess you could put arrow gloves onto the things that you might as well buy, since most people are wearing gloves.
Yep. And I think Aero socks too.
Yeah, arrow
All of the
socks.
clothing, like, I mean, I'm sure most people already have socks that they wear while biking, but like to save 15 watts or whatever it was, for something that could cost as little as $20 or as much as 100, depending on what brand you go with, that's a pretty budget friendly thing to save you a lot of watts.
Yeah, like a normal pair of cycling socks is $15 maybe. So getting the arrow one is 25 or 50. Even let's say you get the defeat ones, which last I know we're at $50. Like, think of, you could literally do the trainer road like spiel. How trainer road's like the watt per dollar spent
Dollar per
is,
watt or
yeah, like the dollar per watt on a sock upgrade is really good. So I would do that. I would, yeah. I mean, the other things are pretty. Oh, wax your chain.
yes,
Yes, that
and go tubeless.
and go tubeless.
Sorry, we'll do these one at a time. Wax your chain with Silca wax. If you need to know how to do it, there's a lot of videos out there.
I will say, I have been running the exact same chain for one whole season. I
Yeah,
am pretty rough on my bike. I've ridden it through mud. I've ridden it through rain. I've ridden it on the trainer, which maybe helps it last the whole year. Yeah, it just will make your drivetrain last way longer. Chains are expensive, and I've been able to run the same chain for a whole year. Like, that in itself is worth the
yeah.
savings.
Not only chains, but the cassettes and chain rings too. Like they literally just don't wear out if you wax your chain often, which is an important thing. If you're waxing your chain, do it like every 300 miles probably, or more if you have the time.
If you
Don't let it go dry.
don't want to wax it, just buy the
The drip.
Silca Super Secret Drip Wax.
Yeah, it's great. Yep. And then wax it, I don't know, once a month, and then just use the drip in between. But if you get it wet and dirty, then probably take it off, clean it, and re-wax it.
Honestly, how I clean it is I literally just run it under super hot water.
Yeah, it works just fine.
Then
Yeah, I said go
tubeless.
tubeless because I feel like there's still people out there. Me and you don't even think about like not running tubeless. Like that's not even an option. But a lot of people still are not running tubeless. So if you're one of those people, just make the switch. It's a little scary at first, but it's the best thing to happen to bicycling, I think. Your
Dude,
bike becomes lighter, doesn't get flats, and faster rolling resistance.
I had, so I set up both my, so actually when I rode with you, I had tubes
Yeah,
in my tires, and I think my
I know.
bike handed a little goofy because of, I'm
Yeah,
just not used to like how the tire deforms with a tube in it.
it just
Uh
doesn't deform.
yeah.
It stays like stiff.
So I set up the NV 40 wheels. I set both of them up without having to like, I just pumped normal, like
Yeah, you
brand
didn't have to use
new
the air
tires and
compressor.
everything. I was like, yes, that was so cool.
Yeah, so nice.
Tilly was over at our Airbnb shooting stuff for Silca, and I was like, I'm just gonna cross my fingers that this looks really cool. And she was doing like a video of me like getting the tire from like putting it on, putting the sealant in it, and then pumping it up. And I was like, okay, maybe it will work if I just start pumping. And like, sure enough, I
It just
pumped
threw it on.
and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
She's like, I've never seen that before. I'm like, there's usually a 10% chance it works.
Yeah. A quick little hack. If you're doing this at home and don't have an air compressor, just use one of the little CO2 canisters to like shoot it on real quick. I know they say a lot of times they say that it'll like freeze the sealant or something, but I haven't found that to actually happen because like I've done it and then like rode it a couple days and then checked the sealant after to see like what happened, and it seems like nothing happened. Like the sealant's fine. I'm sure different brands probably react differently to CO2 canisters, but yeah, quick hack for the home mechanic without an air compressor. What else? What else is on the arrow hacks or marginal gain hacks?
Eat food. Like
Oh,
just
there's a good one.
like,
Yeah,
I don't care if it's Good Life. I don't care if it's Carbs, Fuels, Gels. I don't care if it's Quick Trip gummy worms and gummy bananas. Just like eat and
carve
eat.
up while you
Like
ride.
I I smashed probably 1,500 calories in 1 hour, like halfway through my ride.
Do you remember
Yesterday.
when we were riding last weekend and you were like, sometimes I go to the gas station for like 20 minutes and eat 1,000 calories and then go ride? This weekend, I went to the gas station and I got one of those glazed, what are they called? Honey bun type things. Is that
Yeah.
what they are? Honey buns? I don't know. That are 700 calories. And then I got a Take 5 Reese's, whatever those things are, that are like 400 calories. Um, and then 2 Gatorades, and was filling up my bottles. And while I was filling the bottles, I was eating the Take 5 thing, and then immediately hopped on my bike and just stuffed down the 700 calorie honey bun. So I had like 1,100 calories in under 5 minutes and half a Gatorade. And the next 2.5 hours of my ride home, I didn't eat anything else and was just like trying not to throw up. It was awful. It was so bad.
Dude, you need a gut train. So
I guess that was day one of gut training. Chase worked.
I I didn't mix any Good Life in my bottle. So I had 2 plain. So this was 2 hours into my ride. I didn't take a single sip of water before this stop, but I smashed like I don't know what they're like, Nutri-Grain bars. Like,
Yeah,
I had like the Walmart. I had 8 of those, and I maybe ate 6 of them
with no
before the gas.
water.
Yeah, with no water. So
Why?
I don't know. It was cold, and
Those
I
are
have
so dry.
I have an old man bladder, so if I take a sip of water, it
True.
just
Yeah.
is like.
Same.
So then we stop at the gas station, Quick Trip, because I'm riding with a junior who won his race the day before. Shout out Owen Allred. And we're like, 2 or 3 hours into the ride, and I'm like, dude, we still have like 90 minutes home. Like, let's be safe and stop for you. But also, I just wanted a gas station haul. So we go in. I get a 40 ounce of lemonade and Mountain Dew Code Red. Drink about half of that. I get a Rice Krispie bar that's 400 calories. Eat all of that. And then Quick Trip started not making their own, like, well, they package it as their own gummy worms and banana gummies. So I had all the banana gummies and about half the gummy worms at the gas station too. So if I had a guess, it was probably 1,200 calories, or like 1,200 calories at the gas station. And I like,
I was just
fine.
gonna get 2 of those like really long Rice Krispie treats, but I didn't see them anywhere, and I was just like in a hurry. I don't like to spend a lot of time at the gas station, so I saw the honey buns and just snagged them and ran.
I stopped at this Quick Trip because I wanted a Glazer donut, which is their like
Yeah,
their donuts they make themselves,
yeah.
and they didn't have any, and I was so sad. So I just bought everything else.
Okay, eat food.
Eat food.
I'm gonna list off two that are free. Okay. The first one is while you're racing, and you have to practice this, is just bend your elbows when you're riding. Get your chest, head, everything lower. So just bend your elbows. That'll save you like probably up to 40 watts. I don't know, versus like straight arm. Ton of savings. Doesn't cost anything. You do have to practice it because it's a different position. Second one that is free, actually, I guess it costs a couple dollars, is shave your arms and your legs. I don't know if do the normies do that? Some of them,
They
I'm sure,
definitely
do.
don't shave their arms. Like even Cam Jones
Yeah,
didn't shave his arms. Yeah.
he should have tested that for us.
He okay. Yeah.
Like day one should have done hairy, and then day two shaved his arms or something.
Yeah. You could. I mean, yeah, we could get into other free savings, like learning how to draft really well behind
Yeah,
someone. Like, okay, here's a racing tip: go sit behind the tallest person in the peloton. If
there you
you're
go.
in gravel, you will have to fight me for Brennan Wirtz's wheel because that's a really nice draft. The second one, and this I could do in crit racing, but I suck at it in gravel racing because I can't corner. But if you can corner well and it's punchy out of corners, leave a little gap to the person in front of you before the corner. And then then you don't have to brake. Like you can kind of go into the corner and like start gaining some momentum. So by the time you're already exiting the corner, you're already like accelerating instead of decelerating like the person in front of you.
It was like that was how I raced crits. And I think it's because I was the earliest adopter of big tires. Like I always ran 30s in crits when everybody else was like some people are still on 25s, and I could just corner way faster. So I would just like leave like 3 or 4 bike links going into corners and then coast coming out of it and catch the group.
Okay, I think that's enough for
Yeah, let's go into listener questions slash you got the questions from the gram.
dude. Okay. This person says sock height question marks. I think like 7 inches looks the best. 8 inches looks a little too
you
high.
wear calf sleeves now.
Yeah, but I ran calf sleeves, which is a lot more. Okay.
I'm gonna get these new ASOS RSR Bolide socks. They look super freaking aero. They look taller than normal socks. They're $115 though.
Holy smokes.
Isn't that crazy? They look so aero though. All the watts will be saved.
Okay. Second one. Dude, this one, I can't believe I didn't say this for the marginal gains. How much do aero bars actually help, especially in gravel?
Did you
A
test
lot.
aero bars? Your aero bar position?
No. But
It's
dude,
probably like 40 watts.
oh, easily.
Maybe more. I don't know.
Okay. Sorry, bro. It's Colin. I didn't test it, but you should definitely run aero bars whenever possible, as long as you're okay getting made fun of, because you'll go faster. Can wind tunnels simulate being in a draft to maximize draft aeroness? Yeah, I've seen it done in the specialized wind tunnel with Legion. Do top 5 and worst 5 marginal gains based on money per watt saved. We kind of
I
just
think
listed
we kind of did that.
our worst ones would be like, I don't know. You could say like
I mean,
a
honestly, like wheels, frames, like per dollar, those are the worst. Some of the biggest savings, but also the most expensive.
in what ways do you balance gains versus weight/handling? Is 4 watts worth 100 grams or similar cases? We talked about like almost a pound to save 6 watts. I think it matters what the race is. Like
Yeah,
Valley
it's
of Tears.
very course dependent.
Yeah. So it's, course dependent. And then you kind of still just take into consideration like
Most of the time, the aero gains aren't really adding weight. Most of the time, like obviously deeper wheels add a little bit of weight, like a NV 3.4 versus a 4.5 are like 100 grams difference, and I'm sure the watt saving is, who knows, between 5 and 10 watts probably. So I would almost always choose the more aero setup there, except for maybe a race like Sea Otter where it's like 9,000 feet of climbing. The disc wheel is a totally different story. Adding a pound for possibly 6 watts ish saved. I don't think I would do that unless it was
the
dead flat.
dam.
And I'm
The
talking
dam.
like dead flat, like the dam. Yeah, like even Unbound, too hilly for that.
Mhm. What is the margin of gain in the testing? What if it is like plus minus 1 watt and test claims 2 watts better? So a lot of my watt savings were over 10 watts, but also a lot of the margin of errors are roughly around 5 watts of savings.
How'd they calculate a margin of error?
I think by like how I line up in that, like that
Oh, it was
they
all
have the
based on the picture outline thing.
think so. I didn't
Okay.
ask. Did you test different skin suit slash chip trip strip spacing at different speeds? We didn't test it at different speeds, but we did test different widths at 50 kilometers per hour. Did Silca direct the testing, or did you get to choose what you wanted to test? What was cool is we got to choose what we tested. So, besides the Star Wars helmet, which that thing was too small for my head. I could only get it like halfway on. If you found 100 watts of gains at 50 kilometers per hour, how many watts does that equal at gravel racing speed?
Dude, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
We talked about the right stuff, I guess.
Did you measure aero losses with cargo bibs? No, because I'll never run cargo bibs.
Have you ever worn cargo bibs?
Yes.
Have you ever put something in the pocket of them while riding?
Yeah, I don't
It's like
get it.
super annoying
Yeah.
to have something on the side of your leg while you're pedaling, because it like, if it's heavy, then it's like flopping up and down. Even if it's light, you can like feel it moving as you're pedaling. I don't understand the cargo bib thing.
Yeah, I don't get it. Watts saved by internal routing. I do not know.
I
I
bet
think
it's like
that
3.
I think it's I thought the baseline was like each inch of cable
Hose.
exposed is 1 watt.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's true. And it also like, it's so dependent on like, is your hose running like forward and backwards or straight up and down? And it's like they're almost never straight up and down. So yeah, it's a hard thing to calculate. I think every single bike would be different.
Are short kings the ultimate winners aerodynamically? Yes.
Probably so.
What evidence from the test, if any, would be most helpful for normies? We covered that question. Do the actual technicians running it ever comment or have opinions, or are they neutral? That's a good question.
They usually test race cars, so they don't care.
Dude, I think I brought it up in the last podcast, but there was this guy who had the perfect mullet from like the 90s. Like it wasn't like a stylish mullet by any means.
Yeah.
It was like buzz cut on top and then just slightly longer in the back and then short on the sides and just like spiked in the front. Like if you look up like
Like a
90s,
90s mullet.
yeah, 90s
Yeah.
NASCAR mullet. That's
Those
what
are
you're
the people
getting.
running the tests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very unbiased testing, I would say.
Yeah. Something, dude, and he's probably had this mullet for the past 30 years because
Yeah, for sure.
he wasn't like, he was probably 50 if I had to guess. But yeah, they made some comments. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're kind of just intrigued on like what we're doing because they're just so used to testing car stuff that when they get a biker in, I don't know, they're probably just not used to it.
It'd be cool to like have one of those guys like give their top 10 like tips for us to save watts, because they would come up with things that we would never ever think of, and they might be bad, like they might be completely impossible, but it doesn't make sense to them why it would be impossible. But it would be funny to like just hear what kind of stuff they like a race car engineer guy would come up with.
Yeah, it'd probably have more to do with like the bike itself. Yeah,
Sure, yeah, I bet so. They'd be like, put some diffusers
flames on
over
it.
here and some flames. You need a bigger exhaust pipe on this.
Okay, hoods in, better question mark. For me, yes. Shoe covers, yes. How much does a watch impair aero gains with aero gloves on? I
Probably
don't
not very
actually know.
much.
Yeah, I would guess
Why?
not much at all.
I'd say you're pretty, if like you're used to using that, it's probably pretty safe to
I would
use that.
say it's probably, this is just me guessing, it would be more watts safe to not run a computer in the front and run a watch underneath your Aero Velotoes glove.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe. And
Maybe.
put the watch in the inside of your arm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skin suit versus regular jersey. How many watts does it actually save? I didn't test the regular jersey.
I think that definitely comes down to how well fitting each item is.
So that was all of the questions.
Those are some good questions.
Someone said, is yelling at the other riders not a race tactic? It is a race tactic because you can get in their heads.
You definitely can. What is that referring to?
I don't know.
Did we talk about people yelling at somebody?
I think this was when I talked about Pete Stetna yelling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pete.
Oh, the Gravel Dad asks, are one-sided SPD pedals the future? So Look has released some, and Wolf Tooth. What are your thoughts on this? This is some good.
And your teammate that I said can't sprint earlier, Julian, disassembles his Shimano XTR pedals to make them one-sided. So he's the trendsetter. My take on it is they save a little bit of weight, and if I had to guess, there's almost 0 watt difference. Like I kind of believe that something happening underneath your shoe, because your foot is always pointed forward, or like your toes are pointed down, so the bottom of your shoe is not really ever seeing the air. So I don't think anything happening underneath your foot is making any aerodynamic difference.
Yeah.
Alex Dowsett, I don't know if you remember this YouTube video. He tested some different shoes, and his mountain bike shoes ended up being the fastest, even though they had like lugs on the bottom of them.
I think I do remember that.
Yeah. So I don't think anything underneath your foot is really making any aero differences.
To be determined. No, I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah.
Sweet.
But they do save weight, so it could be cool.
Would it help with shedding mud?
Probably, yeah.
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 Or maybe not, because at least when you have, like, if it's really muddy and you just need to like slam your foot into your pedal, you're not going to be able to do that with these, because you're just going to slam
only one side.
Yeah, and they're going to be on the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still undecided. I haven't tried a set yet, so I can't really speak on it quite yet. But I mean, road shoes are one-sided, so why can't off-road shoes be one-sided, or pedals?
Why can't road shoes be double-sided?
That'd be crazy.
Wait, they are the Wahoo S, whatever they're called.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are the pedals where it's a circle? And you just wear the big clanky things on the bottom of your shoe?
Those are double-sided, you're right. Why can I not think of what those are called right now?
Speed plays.
Speed play, yeah, those things. Yeah, those are double-sided. But I heard I've never worn those, but I've heard if you like step in wet grass and then try to clip in, it just doesn't work anymore. Like they're so susceptible to mud and stuff.
Yeah.
It would not be a great gravel option.
No.
Yeah. Reserved for time trials only.
Yeah, I think they're good for like, because you can get the ones with the, I guess you can get the one-sided ones that are dimpled. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are cool.
Sweet.
That's a hack right there.
That's a hack. If you're listening an hour and a half in, you're welcome for the free hack.
Now, I would say I do want to try a set of these one-sided pedals. So maybe we'll have to circle back to this conversation once I give a set a try.
Sweet. Well, I think that wraps up episode 7
I think so. Yeah. If you guys haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, just go subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, leave Spotify real quick, go to YouTube, look us up, and just subscribe real quick. Thanks. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Mom.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.